tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey everybody, we're here doing the Pretty Little Liars after show. Woohoo! It is the holiday episode, of course, called... Oh, we're getting the theme song.
That's what I was waiting for.
Yeah, I was like, where's my music?
Oh, all right. So we're getting theme song in tonight. So, how the A stole Christmas. I'm of course Stephanie Wenger, and joined at the table by...
Hey guys, I'm Francisco Thurston.
And our special guest, Romeo. Hi.
Hi, Romeo Lacoste. How's everyone doing?
So excited to have you here talking about Pretty Little Liars. You're an amazing tattoo artist and a big fan of Pretty Little Liars as well, which
I am.
So excited. And on the phone, we have our old co-host, Kelly. Hi, Kelly. How's it going?
Hi. Good.
So, good. Okay.
Taking it in Texas.
Yeah, I know. I can't believe you moved away, but we're so happy to have you on our show. So let's jump right into Pretty Little Liars.
Yes.
We're in season 5, and I liked this holiday-themed episode. We generally get a Halloween episode, and this had like a happier overtone, I would say. Generally, we go quite dark on the Halloween episodes.
Yes, we have gone pretty dark.
Yeah, I thought tonight was a nice balance of, we kind of had some of that A stuff going on, but then also had like those sweeter moments. So I appreciated that.
Yeah, it was a nice change, but as always, there's lots of torture going on in Rosewood.
Torture.
Torture, that's what
bad.
it is.
It is really torturous. Although I did appreciate, we'll get into Paige and Emily later on tonight, but that Paige's parents finally said, oh, we're ready to move from, she was like, my parents don't think Ravenswood is safe anymore. And this is the thing that I personally have been waiting 5 seasons for. Some parent to realize, like, maybe we should move. This is not super safe.
I agree.
So, yeah, Kelly, any initial thoughts on the episode? How did you feel about the switch?
I really liked it. I liked that it was a little bit spooky too, so we still had that little bit of Halloween kind of eeriness like throughout the episode, and I kind of think like the play on the ghost of Christmas past and future was fun. And you know, the episode opened a little lighter. Spencer's out of jail, so she's out on bail, doesn't really want to celebrate Christmas. But I liked you know, Hannah's always saying really funny stuff, and I like how she was talking about court gestures, because those are clowns, right?
Yeah. Yes. Which, I mean...
Yeah, but you know they're court jesters, and she said court gestures.
I caught that.
Oh,
but
Hannah.
I do appreciate the play on words, though. I mean, Pretty Little Liars writers always do amazing play on words. If you listen carefully to the script, they're...
I love that they did the whole Mona was Allie's Jacob Marley from Christmas, like that was Christmas Carol. That was,
I mean, you guys picked up on that, both of you, so quickly. Took me a minute, maybe I'm just like not with it tonight, but it definitely, I was like, oh yeah, and then as soon as that happened, and it did, they played it out throughout the episode that way.
Yeah, because if anyone hasn't seen Christmas Carol, Jacob Marley is Ebenezer Scrooge's old business partner who came back to kind of warn him about the path that he was going down. He's like, this is what's going to happen if you don't change your ways. You're gonna wind up being alone, and you're gonna die alone. And that's kind of like that. I love that whole play that they kind of did for Allie. I loved it.
I also love that we got more Janelle on the show. At the end of last season, there was definitely that concern that like, ooh, she's dead now. No one's ever really dead on Pretty Little Liars, but that like, would we see more of Janelle? And Mona is such a fun character, and you of course know Janelle. You've done some artwork with her, right?
I'm actually friends with Janelle, and I've done a couple of her tattoos. So yeah, it's always fun to see her on TV and doing her thing, you know. So it was definitely cool to see her, and of course, you know, she just died, like she died on the last episode, so seeing her come back on this one was definitely, you know, fun and exciting, of course.
Yeah, and she has a crazy schedule. We know she, of course, just wrapped up Dancing with the Stars and to be filming Pretty Liars as well. I mean, can only imagine her schedule is crazy right now.
That's so
crazy.
That's awesome.
So let's jump into the Christmas ball. I love that they went this way. Like, what an extravagant party. Off the top of my head, I have to say that when Allie walked down those stairs, it reminded me so much of Gossip Girl and how Leighton Meester's character used to have her minions walk down like at these gigantic parties. It definitely had that feeling to
like
it.
Mean Girls, Gossip Girl.
Yeah.
Kind of that whole Cinderella story type situation.
It made me wonder who the new twins were. Remember, did anybody kind of have a little bit of a surprise? Like when I saw that there was like 2 new twins, I was like,
who are they?
Who are they? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, those are the girls from before that she just gave them a makeover, took off their glasses and put makeup on them.
Oh,
right?
that's right.
Kelly,
That's the same set of girls, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it? Kelly, you're on it.
I know. I was like, Kelly, we need you, clearly, because I did not pick up on that tonight.
I'm supposed to know this.
I love how Romeo was like, where are they for this whole Christmas ball?
Yeah, I know, right?
Where is this?
Oh, yeah, the whole Christmas ball thing, the whole scenery kind of threw me off a little bit. I was trying to figure out if they were like was it like a school thing or was it like a cafeteria or like,
I mean,
what was that?
Allie clearly spared no expense on that. Like, that's really what I got from it. That was one extravagant party for Rose. I feel like we don't get that.
I was thinking too, like her mother unfortunately had passed away. We don't know where her dad is. Jason is lost in the oblivion. Who set up and paid for this party?
I mean, a great question that you totally asked. You absolutely asked that question while we were watching.
I just want to emphasize, she just made a good point. Where's her brother? Where's her dad? What's going on here?
We've talked about this on the show.
She's living there by herself with no parents.
Her mom just died. They just found her, and now she's throwing a big Christmas party. What's going on?
Yeah.
What's going on in Rosewood?
What's going on in Rosewood?
Haven't you and I talked about before on the show, though, that parents and like family members just disappear? Like this show, it's like week to week. They'll come in for a week, and then 3 weeks later, we haven't seen a parent around. So you never know what's gonna happen. It's kind
natural.
of it's natural.
Normal thing right
normal.
In high school, that was totally my life. My parents were just gone.
Do you
It's
think?
fine.
Yeah, but do you think with Allie and everything about her being accused of being A and all of the stuff that's going on and just kind of all the negativity surrounding her character now and how these are her ex-friends and all of that her being alone is on purpose? Because yes, you're right. She just came back. She secluded herself. Everybody was searching for her, missing her, all of that. But especially with her just being alone on Christmas, no Christmas dinner, no nothing. She's having these dreams. She's being visited by the ghosts of Christmas past and future and all of this stuff, and she's utterly alone and scared.
I agree with that. The isolation we saw, especially tonight towards the end of the episode, where she was kind of peering in on a holiday party or like that Christmas dinner that seemed so lovely, and she clearly wanted to be a part of it and is still in that outer circle. She can't break in and be part of this dinner. She's still on the outside in the cold, and I thought that was such a great metaphor for kind of where she is socially and with her family as well.
I kind of want to make a note that to me when I was watching that, it kind of made me it was almost like a Christmas lesson. I felt like it's like, you know, you can't be mean to your friends your whole life forever, because you know, it's like when you treat people bad, then you're not going to be a part of the family. That's kind of like how I got, like, you know what I mean? You saw them as friends having a Christmas dinner together. Like, they didn't have their family with them. They were just the friends. And there was, you know, she was on the outside looking in through the window. And it just kind of made me, it kind of felt to me like one of those, like, family lesson kind of, like, Christmas things where it's like, you know, it's like if you're bad to your friends and you take advantage of your friends and you're not, you know what I mean, like people aren't going to want to have anything to do with you, that kind of thing.
That's such a great point. It really is. And I think that was also brought home tonight by Mini-Me Allie. Where Hannah says to her
Your
like,
bitches get buried in Rosewood.
Right, exactly. And it's just like Hannah was trying to stop that before, like stop those girls from kind of repeating their own experiences with Allie and being like, you don't need that kind of leader. And it kind of shows you that, you know, the past catches up with you at some point, like your bad behavior. And that
really
it's so true. That's such a
I love that scene.
I mean, it was so funny, and it's so, if you've been watching Pretty Little Liars for 5 seasons, it is something that feels so right. You're like, oh, I get it. Like that's so, I don't know, it felt necessary in some way. I was like, oh, it's true. History does repeat itself. Yeah.
And I just love how kids are so mean. She's like, this place is a dump. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
I mean, I felt like they took it to an extreme, admittedly. But
No, I think kids are like that.
Actually, yeah, I agree with you. Like, kids nowadays are not how they were like 5 years ago, 10 years ago.
know.
Like, when I go out on the street and see kids nowadays, I was like, damn, I wasn't like that when I was a kid. you know?
No.
Kids nowadays are so rude and nasty.
So
you know?
mean.
Look at this dump.
Makes me sad. Makes me sad for humanity.
Me too. So unappreciative nowadays.
So unappreciative.
I mean, that's a whole other conversation
You're right.
we could get
We're
into.
right.
But that
Okay.
being said, let's jump into Allie still being kind of a nightmare at the ball. She, Arya thinks that she's found her and the masked, white, hooded individual.
We all did. We were like, go faster, go faster, go faster, get her, get her. At least
Yeah.
I was in my own head.
Yeah. And we, of course, didn't get that. I mean, Pretty Little Liars, we talked about it off camera.
Should have known.
They have 2 more seasons to go, season 6 and 7. They're not giving up that kind of thing tonight.
Of course not. They never do.
I mean, we're getting more clues, and I appreciate the clues, but we're not there yet.
Could you imagine that scene though, if it really was Cece, Drake, and Allie, with Paige, Lucas,
I mean,
Emily, and Arya, and then those two? Man.
They really don't give us that many clues, though. I'm not going to give them too much credit.
I mean, I like to say we get puzzle pieces throughout the season, but tonight I would have liked more. I know you said the
Definitely.
same thing.
Yeah.
How creepy was Officer Holbrook tonight?
Yeah.
Yes. Ugh.
I first did not notice him in that Christmas hat.
I have to give it to you. You were the first person to be like, that's the officer. And I was like, wait, yeah, you're right, because Santa threw me off. It really did. And also they threw out that he may have been kissing Allie. Do we think there was another Santa, or was that Officer Holbrook?
I think it was him.
I don't think it's gonna be that obvious. It's never obvious in the world
That's
of
true.
Rosewood.
That's true. But
Yeah,
I'm
that
putting my
looked a
money.
little too obvious. So, but I'll be surprised if it actually.
I'm trying
turns
to
out.
remember, wasn't there a Halloween episode where there were multiple, I'm trying to remember, it was like there were multiple people in the same costume. And I feel like that was what
Yeah, it
was
was
going
the
on.
Halloween episode where
it was the
that
mask.
red.
Yeah, it was the mask. Okay. And then and Santa, I feel like it could be the same, where there's a Santa, but we don't know who the Santa.
Well, we see a lot of people in the same costume in general at the ball, with the two Allie and Cece with the masks, and everybody coming in with Allie. We've kind of seen a lot of that in that entire.
Well, I can tell you who it definitely wasn't. It definitely wasn't Lucas.
Yeah.
Definitely wasn't Lucas.
Yeah.
Right? You're just like, check him off. We're good. We got him off the list.
All right. Sorry,
But-
Lucas, you're not getting that lucky.
Yeah.
Too skinny, too small for that one scene. I was like, no, that guy has really broad shoulders.
Yeah. So sad. Like, we're
What
now.
was up with him with like the tank top and the open Santa? You know, like he tries to look like a sexy Santa. Or
Oh,
something.
yeah.
I totally agree
Santa
there.
outfit is like
Yeah.
all
Yep.
practically
like
not.
when he was like saying like when he was like walking and then what's their name, and then they stopped him, the two guys.
Oh, Ezra. And
Yeah, when they stopped him, like when he was walking, he just had like no shirt, the tank top, his shirt open. I was like, what is this? Like who just who just dresses like that?
Whose party is this?
I
part
know.
is
I'm
this?
the same thing. Especially he's a police officer at a teenager's.
I know.
Ball.
Oh,
That was
so unprofessional.
So weird. And like, I like that he was like, oh, it's a charity ball. And like, that was the reason he would be there. I have questions for sure. That being said, do you think that, so Officer Holbrook, do we think he has something with Allie, or is it someone completely different?
I think it's someone different.
Someone different?
I think he has something with Allie because Allie's had things with a bunch of different men in the past. I mean, look at some of the other characters that she's had like secret flings with. I wouldn't be surprised, you know.
She knows how to get her way.
Well, remember he did get pretty close with Hannah for a second, to the point where Hannah kissed him.
Yeah, that's true. It's really
So
creepy.
he could be dipping in that. You
Well-
know, like those younger girls.
Oh, we had to go there. All right.
Double dipping.
Yeah. I mean, we have teachers sleeping with students. Like, there doesn't seem to be a lot of boundaries in.
There's no boundaries on Rosewood.
That's why I like it.
I mean,
Spicy.
Yes.
I know it's so on ABC Family though. It's just
That's why it's so successful, though.
It,
You know,
Controversial.
It's controversial. It breaks the boundaries.
Spicy.
And it's spicy.
That word.
It is.
And there's just different.
I mean, even in the beginning where Spencer's got that sexy little elf Santa or female Santa costume on, and she doesn't say Merry Christmas, she says Merry Ho Ho.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was just like, oh, that happened. All right.
I was kind of surprised when she said that, actually.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, they're going there.
Stepping it up, ABC family. But also, I love that Marlene King talked about before the episode aired that you were going to have the guys in Santa costumes without their shirts on. And, like, it was literally the most, like, random moment. Like, it wasn't like, oh, they're in some, like, because I imagine it to be like a competition or some, like, charity thing that they're, like, dressed as Santas and, like, the girls can bid on them or whatever. No, it was like they walked down the stairs and they were all, like, in Santa gear, and you're like, oh, that's
Paige and her tank top.
Then there's Paige. There's the three guys looking natural, and then you got Paige.
Yeah.
And some shorts and a tank top.
I mean, but I'm sure teenage girls will love that.
Oh, they died.
Yeah, I mean,
There's a million girls across the United States and across the world just like.
I mean, I feel like girls have waited for that moment for a long time.
Yeah.
I have not had a chance to look at the tweets on that yet, but tonight I'm sure
They got what they wanted.
Yes.
Yeah.
Except for Paige.
No, so sad.
Some girls got what they wanted.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah. So maybe it's time. We're all dying here now. All right, let's move on from the Christmas ball. Actually, before we move on quickly, I have to say, loved the fashion at the Christmas ball. I know.
Yeah.
I mean, Aria's dress was just amazing. You can all tweet me about what you're thinking if there's one dress that stood out to you. But I immediately
Emily was hot. I love Shay. Shay always looks gorgeous in everything. So
yeah, I mean,
can do no wrong.
I mean, they all looked great, but Aria's was my fave.
Yeah. She always has a cute.
Yeah,
just
it was like a
edgier.
nice T-ball, little T-length dress.
Hers was very different, I noticed.
Yeah.
Like the others three, like kind of looked similar, and then Aria's had like a completely different look. I feel like it kind of made her stand out a little bit. Maybe they did it on purpose.
Yeah, I feel like she tends to get like a little bit different on the fashion than some of the other girls. So it's always fun to see what they do.
Well, plus the dress was a gift from Ezra, right?
Yeah, the gift was, as well as she got some jewelry as well from him, which was, I thought, a really sweet moment. They kind of did intermix those sweet moments in with the more, like, Pretty Little Liars-esque moments, I guess are the best way to say that. But I liked that she got jewelry. I know you found it a little creepy.
What?
Did you find the jewelry giving creepy tonight, or was it, or were you okay with it?
Well, Ezra's always kind of creepy a little bit.
I mean, so
I have a thing. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit biased when it comes to Ezra and Arya.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much we want to get into this, but I
Get into it. You're here.
I find Ezra a little bit creepy. Like, you know, I can understand that girls think he might be, you know, a handsome guy, but it's just, I don't know, man. To me, there's something a little fishy about a teacher, underage, you know, I don't know. It's a little creepy to me.
I hear you. I have to say, like, we get lots of tweets saying that. I am, like, the biggest Arya and Ezra fan. So I'm like, oh, they're adorable, and have been for seasons now.
Okay, well, like, what's your point on it? Like, what do you see are the pros on the whole thing?
Okay, so, like, I understand the creepy teacher thing. I just think that he's always been very protective of her, and there's something very sweet about that. So I think that's where I'm like, oh, you're adorable. You seem sweet with her.
I could counter that and say that creepy daddy figure a little bit.
Fine, I know maybe I mentioned it. He was sitting at the head of the table tonight, and it was a little like father figure.
He's not helping his case.
Like, come to my dinner.
He's not helping his case.
I mean, we're gonna get so much like comments on that, but you can tweet at us and go on YouTube, by the way, rate and comment on our show. We read everything, so subscribe. We love hearing from you, and the show is back January 6th, so we'll be here talking about it all season long, and we'd love to hear from you, so don't miss a thing. Definitely rate, subscribe. That being said, want to jump into Hannah and Spencer left the ball and went over to Allie's home. What did you think of that, Kelly? Any opinion?
I thought that was, well, they're always doing that. And I love how Hannah never pays attention. She's always keeping her phone somewhere. She hears a noise, and instead of hiding, she's all, Spencer?
I said that. We both said that.
So
What a blonde.
I mean, it's so true. Yeah.
Find a corner in the attic, sit in it so you can protect yourself, and don't go screaming someone's name.
Why did they even send her on the missions, though? They shouldn't even be sending Hannah on any of the missions.
I know, they really
I
shouldn't.
know.
Well, they kind of spent.
I was waiting for Toby to fall out of that chair as he was trying to flash the light in her face.
Oh yeah, I mean 100%. He was doing the worst spy job ever, and I was like, why do you have what appeared as like a camera? It was just weird. I was like, binoculars? No, like we were using a camera for this. Okay.
Yeah.
It was a very valiant effort trying to get her attention.
Yeah. But I agree.
But at least they were able to find some clues. So they found the passport, Allie's passport, and she found the letter from Bethany. So she was able to connect that she actually did have a relationship with Bethany.
I agree. What did we think of? Let's start with the passport. What did we think of the passport? I thought it was like a strange find. It does help her understand kind of more the details, but I was just like, I wanted it to be something, I guess, a little, sounds weird to say this, like bigger or like a bigger reveal. It didn't feel.
Well, I kind of feel like I thought it was not even anything new, really, because if you remember when they, I guess before she revealed herself and they were, and back when CC and all that stuff was going on, and she was taking like the bus passes and stuff, I thought that she already had like kind of a passport kind of thing going on back then, or some kind of like hidden identity thing going on. So I felt like finding a passport with a fake name wasn't really like, you know, it was kind of like a little bit of a clue, but it wasn't like like you said, it wasn't like a big reveal. I feel like they could have definitely went a little bit bigger on that.
Allie's always been very prepared at any drop of the dime. She's ready to go at any moment. So I think that was probably maybe one of her last saving graces if she ever just needed to get out of town.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because it is kind of that last saving grace or what she can do, but we haven't really. Do you think she's used it? I don't like. That's what I couldn't
think so.
Yeah, it was that like her whole like her back like the last thing in her suitcase or whatever, like the last thing she could do, or has she been using it all along? And that was kind of my question. Yeah,
and it kind of has a backstory. I believe they talked about the name Holly Varjak, on how it was. I think it was a story that was with Ezra. I think that's what they said.
I think so. Yeah.
I think so. And then it was like the whole. She had like the breakfast at Tiffany's like hairdo. So maybe it has more of like a, I don't know.
I feel like this episode there were certain things that I wanted flashbacks to. I like they were described, and then I was just like, this is the perfect moment for a flashback. Why are we not having one? And that was definitely one where I was like,
they talked about it.
Yeah.
Can I make a quick note real quick?
Absolutely.
You said one thing that kind of struck my attention. This is just food for thought for some of the people watching this.
100%.
But one thing that really struck my attention was when Hannah was. I almost feel, I don't know if this was like a secret clue or what this was, but I found it very, very strange that when Hannah was searching for stuff in the attic, she had to find a key to go inside the chest, and then there was like the tape that said, what did the tape player?
Don't touch my stuff.
But she didn't pursue to keep looking in there. I almost feel like it's almost like it felt like there would have been something in there that would have been valuable information, because it's like, why would there be a key somewhere else with the tape? I almost felt like we didn't find something, but there was something there. And then also when she had to tear the wallpaper, and then there was the Jack in the Box, but she didn't find anything in the Jack in the Box. It's like, why would it be behind there if there wasn't anything hidden? It almost felt like she was supposed to find something but didn't. It just was really, it was almost like very weird for me. I almost like felt like something was like missing, kind of.
Yeah, I almost wanted her to take apart the Jack in the Box. That was when it, like, you make a great point. Up until then I was kind of like, oh, she's doing it, and then the Jack in the Box, I did feel like something, there was another layer there. Maybe if you took it apart, or if, like, looking as stupid as this is, flipping it over, I wasn't sure what was there, but there had to be a message from something.
Yeah. And it's so weird because this all stems from Hannah receiving the package from Mona with the letter and the map of Allie's house, and Mona saying this and that. Don't keep looking, and it's weird that they went searching for this stuff and it really kind of led to nothing besides a letter.
I completely agree. This, to me, it just really didn't. It was kind of a weird missing, like there's just a missing feeling to it. Like you said, like Hannah like risked her life for her to have this. They had all these passageways, secret passageways. I almost feel like there should have been some sort of like really, really important, big piece of the puzzle that they were supposed to find, and it really was just kind of like running into a circle, dead end maze kind of a thing for me.
Yeah, it was weird because generally when the girls are injured, or I guess it wasn't a big injury tonight, it looked like she was icing her head afterwards, but you get some big piece of information. They're injured for a reason, and that's typically the way the show goes. And tonight I was kind of like, well, you were attacked, but like, what did we get from, like, we didn't really get a lot of information. It was just kind of them researching, and maybe that'll come in January. We'll see why all these pieces are important.
We also find out that Allie has been communicating with somebody through personal ads, which she did with Mona when she was A. So who could she possibly? They said, you can call me at this number. So it was obviously somebody important if she's contacting them through personal ads again.
I mean, yeah, that's an interesting little tidbit. There were a lot of throwbacks tonight. If you've been watching the show for 5 seasons, I felt like there were little things where, like, the personal ads were a great example, or Arya and Ezra kind of were the start of the pilot, and they had this moment with them. There was a lot of kind of throwbacks to season 1 and 2, which I thought was really sweet in a holiday episode as well. Callie, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, and the whole Mad Hatter thing. You remember Jenna had that Mad Hatter party.
That is a great one as well.
Back like a while ago, that's when they found the pills, and that's when Arya was working for that photographer. She found that film that Lucas had, and it kind of shows Lucas's involvement. So that's kind of weird. So I wonder if it was kind of reminding people of that when they found that Mad Hatter Jack in the Box.
I forgot
kind
about
of
that.
revisiting things that we should be thinking about.
Yeah, when I'm thinking about the episode as we are going through this after show, I start to wonder if a lot of these things are just kind of like putting them out in the forefront again.
Yeah.
And like, we didn't get a lot of answers tonight, but if that's kind of what the back half of season 5 will be, is answers and why all these things are important. Because I feel like this show always goes in lack of a better term, kind of circles, and everything comes around in a lot of ways.
I also want to kind of go back to the ball for just a second. We didn't talk about Jenna and Sydney on why they said that they were doing what they needed to do to kind of stay alive, essentially. I always wondered why Jenna and Sydney were kind of part of that whole... weren't they with Mona's army at first?
I think so, and then they split
And now
off.
they're with Allie's army. I feel like they're just kind of like flip-flopping to do what they... But I also feel like they're trying to work with the enemy to help out their friends, essentially.
Do you think they're trying to help their friends, or do we...
I think it could go 2 ways here. I feel like Jenna could either... It seems to me like she's always working with whoever's against the girls. So it could either be that, like, she's helping Allie because she either has a really bad distaste towards the 4, which we've seen her, like, it seems like she was working with Mona before when it was against them. Now it seems like she's working with Allie against them. But also, it could be kind of like what you said. It could be more like maybe we're starting to see more of like a softer side to Jenna, like more of like a cornered mouse. Like she's like, she feels like she's in danger, and she's more like doing what she has to do to kind of like stay alive. So maybe it's not necessarily something against the girls. Maybe it's more like she doesn't want to be, you know, the target anymore. So she's kind of like staying on Allie's side, not Allie's back. Who knows?
Wow, you guys have made good points. I don't know where I feel. I'm split. I can't make a choice.
I just think that Jenna could never truthfully team up with Allie after... I mean, the girls didn't exactly put Jenna through what... the girls didn't put Jenna through what Allie did to them, essentially. Right. But I mean, I think Sydney is not against the girls. I think that she could be kind of trying to help the girls, but... like Emily said, they're sleeping with the enemy, kind of.
I also wonder if both girls have the same motive, or if one of them is, is doing it for the right reasons, and the other one is doing it for more evil.
Yeah. Jenna's doing what she needs to do to survive, honey.
That's true.
So, right. Yeah, it's very true. Should we jump then? It feels like a natural...
Sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you either.
No, I was just going to say...
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, you're right. You know exactly what you said. Just, it just seems like it's hard to tell who's doing it for what. But I was going to say, Pretty Little Liars, it's, you. I feel like you never can really tell who's doing for what. Like, you always, every episode, you always get like a curveball. You always think that you figured out, who's on whose team, who's doing what their motives are, like, who's right, who's wrong. And then you always get a curveball. So it's like, you know, here comes another one. You can't tell, you know, what Jenna's motives are. You can't tell what Sid's motives are. So it's just like, you know.
You never know.
You never know.
A friend of mine a few weeks ago was comparing it to Scandal, and I thought that was really interesting because I don't know if either of you watch Scandal. But,
I love Scandal.
But it is like that. There's so many twists and turns that you don't know where it's gonna go, and I think that this has been a great season so far on Pretty Little Liars because that's so been the case, is that you're not sure at every turn which way things are gonna go. But let's jump into some of these relationships. Starting off with Paige and Emily, I think they had the biggest kind of bombshell in the relationship territory.
I wouldn't call it bombshell, but you know.
I mean,
I think they've had a lot of bombshells. I feel like they're trying to get back on track, and now it's just like, here goes another one. But
I mean, yeah.
Is this the exit for Paige's character for a while?
I sure hope so.
Not a fan of hers, apparently.
No.
Tell me why.
I don't like Paige. I've never liked Paige. Ever since the first day, I couldn't like. There's just something about her, you know. First of all, it doesn't help she's not very attractive. Come on, Emily, you can do so much better for yourself. First of all,
We
Emily.
get so much flack for anything negative ever said about that poor character.
I warned him. I really did.
I don't mind. It's fine. Emily, if you're watching this, you can do so much better, okay? Don't Paige. I'm just being honest.
I've always felt that there was just something so off about her character. I've never, ever trusted her since the very beginning. It's just always something that's been a little, I don't know.
I've gone back and forth about whether or not we should trust Paige. I think week to week sometimes I've been like, I feel like I just worry about it's not so much Paige the character, it's more her relationship and how she treats Emily that I worry about.
You also trusted Ezra, and we all know how that happened.
Now who I trust is totally, I don't know.
And can I also make a note that Paige did dance with the enemy a couple times?
She did.
Yeah,
she was a little
true.
sketchy more than once.
But she finally tells Emily, though, at the end that her parents I alluded to this earlier, don't want her in Rosewood anymore. They think it's dangerous, and that they want her to move to California. So do we think that this relationship can survive long distance?
No.
She's not going to do any better in California.
Oh my God.
So going down. All right.
Okay, I'll stop. I'm done. That was the last one. I'm done.
The gavel just went down.
I mean, you can tweet at him. I'm kidding. That being said, no, I hope that they find a way to survive. I think long distance, especially in high school, like we've talked about before, is really, really hard. So I don't know, it'll be interesting to see. But I did appreciate that they all kind of had this moment. We don't get the characters together that often, and they had this big holiday dinner, and I thought that was, I apparently really like sweet moments, and that was one of my favorites of tonight.
Yeah, everyone loves a good sweet moment.
Actually, you just brought a strange point to my attention. I noticed it was really weird how it just kind of had a weird gap in the story. So the four come downstairs wearing their naughty Santa outfits. Yeah. And then all of a sudden they're at the table fully clothed back again, having
You noticed the same thing I did. I was like, that's why it was so random. It was just,
what happened in between?
I don't know.
That was a very, very random scene that I didn't even really understand.
Yeah, it went very quickly, and then all of a sudden there was a Christmas tree outside. So, I mean, I don't really know.
And then did they, like, how did that whole thing happen? Was, probably Ezra's idea. Was he just like, hey guys, let's go upstairs and put on our underwear and our boxers and go downstairs and surprise them,
I like that you pin that on Ezra. I just had, and I said it earlier, but like a competition, there had to be some reason why this was happening. And it felt very like, oh, you're there, and then, oh, we're going to change into nice clothes for dinner. And you're like, wait, why are you doing this? Okay, I guess it's happening, so I'm gonna accept it.
They realized how awkward it was and got dressed.
Yeah, it's true. It's amazing.
Well, what about going back to Allison and her whole, ode to a Christmas Carol thing?
Sure.
Don't you guys think it's weird that when she sees her mother and her mother says to her, she has a lot to show you, pay attention, and then Mona's kind of haunting her the whole time, but Allie's take on it is that when she talks to Cece, is that I think my mother's watching out for me and protecting me. I didn't get that. What did you?
Well, I feel like Allie experienced the whole Jacob Marley ghost of Christmas, whatever, and Mona's character is trying to guide her to do the right thing. So I think her mom wanted her to see what Mona had to say in order to see the mistake she was making and what could end up happening to her. So I think that maybe in Allie's mind, it was her mom helping her in some weird, freakish way. If that makes any sense.
No, I mean...
Yeah, I mean, well, and I thought it was interesting that her mom comes to her as, you know, as the black veil, you know, like the hooded veil person that we saw at the funeral.
Wait, say that one more time, Kelly?
I said her mom and what she was dressed in was like the black veil person that we saw at the funeral, like what, last season?
Yeah.
Season ago?
Yeah, I do recall that. Sorry, I misheard you.
Yeah.
It was interesting. There were those like moments where her mom is definitely going to play a role in the next. I feel like we kind of saw it in the previews, and we'll get into it in predictions, but her mom is definitely not done. That storyline and the way it's affected Allie is not done.
Yeah.
And with the two dresses, and we see how the monster with the liar was made.
I mean, the two dresses, do you have any idea who the other dress was for, the little girl's dress? Do you have any thoughts?
Allie questioned that too. She's like, who is the other dress for?
Yeah.
So it's something big.
I mean, we've thought about twin. We've talked about it on the show a lot. Is there a twin?
Secret twin.
Yeah.
Possible.
Yeah.
Possible. I feel like, I mean, I know, we've questioned Bethany as well.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel like the timeline might not match up. Like, she seemed really young. I didn't think Bethany was
Yeah, I think that's more
around.
of like a teenage.
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like twin would probably be the more probable answer. But, then again, they haven't dropped too many clues about a twin on the show. So I feel like...
Yeah, that's something from the books that might not translate over for sure.
We might be grasping at air, but I feel like twin's definitely probable. I mean, I don't see who else it could be,
Yeah, anything is possible, which is, we've
well,
seen.
I like how Mona was like, it's not going to be that easy, bitch.
Yeah. I love Janelle's whole thing this episode. It was amazing.
Janelle continues to have some amazing one-liners on the show. Just phenomenal, fun one-liners.
Another thing I've noticed too is I like how in the last couple episodes, so the mom dies, Janelle dies, Mona dies, and you kind of get this feeling like, damn, some important characters are dying off. But I've noticed how in this episode they bring back two people who are supposed to be dead. So I'm kind of wondering, like, are these characters gone? They're dead. Are they gone? Or are they like gonna be more like? Are they gonna be like? Sometimes they're going to have these dreams and, like Mona and her mom might come back to haunt them in their dreams or give them messages or, what I mean? It kind of makes you wonder, like, are we going to see them in some future episodes?
Hopefully.
I don't ever think that anyone's dead on Pretty Little Liars. It's kind of my personal viewpoint,
Yeah,
but
no one is.
Not completely. There's either flashbacks or memories or something.
Yeah, and we know that Janelle has been filming for Pretty Little Liars, so that tells me that she should be in more of it, in theory.
Yes.
So that being said, let's talk about A. And we have some news and gossip about A that we'll get into. But so let's briefly talk about that and how this A message at the end was kind of shocking. It was like went from this lovely holiday dinner out in the Christmas lights, and it's like. What was it? It was Happy Holidays.
Merry Christmas, bitches.
That's what it was. Merry Christmas, bitches.
Get it right.
Yeah, I mean, crazy.
I don't know how they got that up. I really don't.
Yeah. I mean, it's just
Allie couldn't have done that on herself.
No.
Right?
No, and also surprising. I guess, like you hear the word bitch on ABC Family, but
it said it a lot this episode.
I was like, but to like have it written up.
It said a lot. It was like 5 times. I think.
Yeah, it was crazy. But let's talk about you. I want to know everything. So
what do you want to know?
I want to know many things.
Okay.
But so you've been a tattoo artist for how long? Tell me about jumping into being a celebrity tattoo artist.
I started tattooing when I was 17. I've been tattooing professionally for about 5 years.
That's awesome.
And yeah, so I started tattooing bands and stuff when I was younger. I used to go to concerts, and then I moved to California. Started tattooing like internet celebrities, and then then I started tattooing everyone from Justin Bieber, Ariana Grande to actresses and other musicians and all kinds of stuff. So.
And you mentioned at the top that you're friends with Janelle. How did you meet Janelle? Was it through the tattooing, or was it? another?
Actually, well, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but she does like these Broadway plays.
I've actually seen her on a in LA, which was great.
And I actually didn't even know that she was doing that. I just, you know, I was just a fan of that kind of stuff, and I had friends who were working there, and obviously I was a fan of. I've been watching Pretty Lies for a while, but yeah, so I met her there. And she just happened to be, you know, looking for a tattoo artist and wanted to get tattooed. So, you know, we were friends for a little while, and then she ended up getting tattooed. She recently got another tattoo from me a couple weeks ago.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I did like the birds on her arm.
I love that.
It's so pretty.
I recently did like a quote on around her arm too.
I think I've seen that in a photo.
Yeah.
It's nice.
So yeah, I mean, I think she mentioned that she was wanting to get another one in the future. So I mean, I'm sure I'll be seeing her, and I see her, you know, other times too when she doesn't get tattooed. But
that's really exciting though. And you mentioned that you're also opening up a shop, or is it open in North Hollywood?
It's soft open, but the grand opening is January 22nd.
That's amazing.
And yeah, Janelle actually came there and got tattooed the new location. And yeah, I've been kind of just wrapping it up and just finishing like small touches and stuff. So
how long have you been working on the shop?
The shop so far has been a let's say like a 4 or 5 month process. I started from scratch. It was a completely empty, and we just kind of built everything from the ground up, adding floors, ceilings, lights, all kinds of stuff.
What an amazing process that must have been.
What's the name of your shop?
It's called the California Dream.
California
and it's
Dream.
Love that.
Yeah, North Hollywood, California. And yeah, it's really cool. I'm kind of doing something different. It's a little bit more of like a lounge. It has more of like a loungy feel to it. It's not like a typical tattoo shop. So I'm trying to do something a little bit more like upscale, classy. Yeah, more fun.
I mean, that sounds really cool. And it's also, North Hollywood is so close to all the studios, and doing all of the people that you've mentioned, that must make it much easier for you too.
Yeah, it's right off the 170, so you know, anyone coming from Hollywood or anywhere, it's really easy to get to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm there all the time in that area, so definitely have to come by and
from?
say hi.
I was born in Canada originally.
Canada. Yeah. I love it.
And you were also on a reality show. Are you excited to be done with the reality show, or are you like moving on to the next chapter, or would you consider doing another something reality or your own reality show?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the show aired about 6 months ago. It's actually airing currently in other countries. Like I think it just started in France right now. So there's people that tweet me all the time saying, "Hey, I'm in Argentina. The show just started airing." So it's really cool that I did that. It was a tattoo competition show, Best Thing Season 3. I don't think they're doing another season afterwards, but yeah, I'm always, you know, I mean, I enjoyed it, had a lot of fun, and you know, I also do like YouTube videos and stuff, and you know, so it's like I'm always down to do, you know, entertainment and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens. I'll be down for another show. See what, you know, if something comes along in the future.
I mean, it's really fun. Everybody I know who's done reality TV always says how much fun it is. Like they're like, oh, it's long hours, but it's really fun to like kind of
and stressful.
And
yeah,
and stressful.
It is stressful. It was especially the one I was on was extremely stressful.
Was it more of a competition?
Yeah, it was. It was crazy because it's like, you know, it's a reality show, so you have to like focus on personality, but then at the same time we were tattooing, and you know, it was a competition, so it was really stressful because, you know, they were like trying to hype up like the drama and the, you know, like,
of course.
Dude, I'm just trying to tattoo, man.
You know, you got like drama going on in this, you know, in the story, but at the same time you have like, you're very limited on trying to do these like awesome tattoos and impress everyone. So it was definitely very stressful.
I mean, it sounds it for sure, but we will have to stop by. We'll make a trip of it.
I'm gonna get a tattoo.
We'll have to come by and see your new shop, and everyone out there should do the same and come by and say hi and see what's up. That sounds great. Fun lounge environment. Yeah,
it's cool.
Cool.
Stephanie, you need a tattoo. You need to go get a tattoo.
I mean, I could get a tattoo.
You should.
I like that makes
so addictive.
Everyone
I got like my 7th one.
I mean, yes, Callie is amazing and has such pretty tattoos. Everyone laughs when I say I'll get a tattoo. I don't know why. So funny. Anyways, let's jump into...
Yeah, no, congratulations on the shop. That sounds amazing.
I mean,
but when I come to visit, I'm definitely going to have to check it out.
Do it. Thanks so much.
Yeah. So let's jump into some brief news and gossip, and we're gonna do like lightning round news and gossip here.
Well, we had technical difficulties, so I feel like we should have a few extra minutes.
So let's do that and say, so quickly, Ashley Benson signed with CAA, Creative Artists this week, which is great. She was with William Morris before, so probably be seeing new and different projects. That's generally when someone signs with a new talent agency, what happens. So that's really exciting. Also, Lucy Hale has been talking about all these rumors about her being A. And she says that she would love that. She says, I would love that. I think that as an actor, everyone wants to play the bad guy. So whatever, it would be fun. And so that's something to think about.
A good twist.
There you
Yeah,
go.
wouldn't that be, because we always talk about that she is not the most tortured on the show. And so, but we did see in the predictions that she looks like she's going to get some torture going on.
She's
So
getting drilled.
I don't know. It'll be interesting.
By Ezra.
Oh, this all took a very bad turn.
I didn't mean to.
I'm sure you didn't. Also, Keegan Allen is talking about A. I'm just moving on past it at this point. And he's talking about A, and he says that he knows what is going to happen with A, and that I think it's genius. I think it's 100% just incredible. The way that it comes to form, the whole storyline of this, it explains everything in such a classy way. And
So he knows.
so he must know, right? Well, we all need to go stalk him, clearly.
so stalk him.
Yeah, and that should be our new goal, right? I feel like that's 100%.
I'm not doing that.
You're not going to stalk him? Okay, well, maybe I'll stalk his Twitter instead. Whatever. So should we jump into predictions? That was a brief news and gossip.
It's okay.
Yeah.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV prediction.
I mean, I love it. The lights. I haven't been here in a minute, and I love the lights. So Kelly, do you have any, or the guys over here? Anyone? Predictions? Who wants to jump in?
I don't. I mean, I don't really. I'm just, Allie thinks she's going to hell. I want to see how much of that kind of like hell on earth she's going to have with her ex-friends kind of trying to dissect what she's doing and call her out as being A, because we see that she's confronted by that and she doesn't like it. So I want to see how in-depth that goes.
I think Allie is going to run into some trouble after that note. Wait, but in the world of Rosewood, that note is going to get stolen and destroyed, so I think Allie actually will be fine. But in my world, in my prediction world, I think Allie is going to run into some trouble, and Spencer is going to be cleared. And I think that Paige is going to be gone. I think they're giving her some time off at least.
Get some beauty rest.
I mean,
Time off to get some beauty sleep.
I mean,
can we talk about the what's it called? The previews for the next episode?
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, based on that, it seemed like, I don't know if it was me, but it kind of threw a little curveball. It seemed like Allie maybe might not be A. She was kind of making it sound like A might be going after the girls. I mean, maybe she was just trying to like cover her butt, but it seemed like maybe there might be another person who's A besides Allie.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. How I mentioned it, that Aria doesn't get in these situations very much, and the prediction or the previews made me wonder how she got there, how she was the one being tortured, because it doesn't happen very often. So is it our typical suspects, or is there somebody new who is after her?
Also, the character who like was raising something to attack, it had almost like it looked like it could have been a male character. Just something to think about too.
Yeah.
You know? So it doesn't seem like that would be something that Allie could be pulling off.
I don't think Allie's ever been A, but I think that she's been a part of this evil plot.
Yeah.
So
I wonder what her relation. I don't think she is A. I think what is her relationship to A, and that's always my question, because she seems to know a lot, but she doesn't seem to be the one who's pulling all the strings, if you will. So many questions, not too many answers tonight, but there will be more.
We'll be back soon.
Coming January 6th. Thank you so much for joining us. It was great to hear about your shop and everything.
Thank you for having me. It was so much fun.
And where can people find you?
People can get all my information on my website, which is www.romeolacoste.com. You can book an appointment. And then also my social media, at Romeo Lacoste, Twitter, Instagram, Vine, YouTube, all that good stuff. And I post, pictures of my work and all the celebrities I work with and stuff like that. So
awesome. And you can find AFTERBUZZ at AFTERBUZZ TV and me at Stephanie Wenger.
You guys can find me, the Francisco, on Twitter, and Instagram is Francisco Thurston.
And Kelly, where can people find you?
And you can find me at Kelly with an IE 079.
Thank you so much for calling in, Kelly. It was awesome.
Yay. Miss you.
Yeah. Miss you too.
Yay.
Miss you too.
All right. Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy
And we'll
holidays.
see you back January 6th.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.